Now I'm gonna say it like it is. The issue isn't that you don't know how to create content. The issue is you're not creating content consistently. This is the same issue that I've experienced firsthand for over 10 years as a marketing professional, videographer, and content creator. And no matter if I was making content for my personal brand, a business I was working for, or a brand I was collaborating with, I just couldn't figure out why I kept stopping, burning out, or feeling overwhelmed. And I'm sure this is a feeling that you've experienced in the past. No matter what goals I set at New Year's or KPIs that a manager or a teammate may have set with me, as James Clear famously shares from his best-selling book, Atomic Habits, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You're here because you've experienced at least one of these three things. With the hundreds of creative professionals that I've helped with content creation, these have been three of the biggest challenges that have caused them to struggle with their consistency with content creation. Years of feeling overwhelmed and posting on any platform of any content format and barely finding any progress, frustrated and alone to have no one to bounce off ideas, and ultimately lead to burnout, causing me to stop producing content, stop growing my audience, and stop creating awareness, traffic, and building a community online. But after being sick and tired of being on the content hamster wheel, constantly feeling behind, struggling to keep up, and feeling like my efforts weren't going anywhere and I was just putting out content to no one, I spent hours devouring every podcast, every book, and every resource I could around habit formation, social psychology, and creativity. And so when I started implementing and using a range of different practices, I started noticing the techniques and the strategies that were consistently working every single time. So when I started bottling these levers together, I started noticing that content creation was simple, sustainable, strategic, and most importantly, it was fun. I wanted to do more of it. And so when more creative professionals started reaching out to me, asking how I was sustaining such a high volume of high quality content, I realized that this is something that I could teach and share with others. Over the last 3 years, I've been coaching, consulting, and sharing my process with dozens of creative professionals just like you. That's why I'm excited to share with you the 3 research-backed levers that can ensure you create content consistently. 1, clarity. A man that chases 2 rabbits ends up with none. If you have no idea what you're focused on, no idea why you're posting content, how you're creating it, who you're creating it for, then that's going to reflect in your results. You need to start by creating a game plan, a North Star or a blueprint that lets you know what you need to focus on, but more importantly, not to focus on. Because with every platform, algorithm, and content format change that continues to go, you need to get razor sharp focus and avoid shiny object syndrome, which is why you may feel like you keep building half bridges on every platform, but never actually stick it through with one single platform or one single format long enough to actually see substantial results.
Whatever you do, I guarantee you, when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.
And that's the first pillar we start with when you kick off your storyteller sprint. And the reason why we start with your game plan is because the research shows it. You're 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing them down. We get super practical and tactical on a workshop that is focused on your strengths as a storyteller. So that means that if you hate dancing on TikTok, but you're an amazing copywriter, stop making short form video and start writing amazing tweet threads, blogs, or emails. Or if you're an amazing orator or a really strong presenter, get a microphone, start podcasting, and stop trying to make awfully designed carousels in Canva. In this step, we are solely focused on finding the natural intersection between your strengths as a storyteller and where your audience is and how they're consuming content. Secondly, it's having community. In studying some of the top innovators, creators, and entrepreneurs over the last 2 years, the common thread I always find is that they always cite having a mastermind or a community around them, whether they're partners, teammates, or just a crew of like-minded legends that share a similar goal or vision to them. As top YouTuber Mr. Beast remarks, his growth and success as a YouTuber was exponential when he linked up with his own mastermind of fellow YouTube creators.
Really does make a difference. Imagine a world where it's just you working solo and you work 12 hours a day every day for like a year. And you're just grinding, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that for like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday. He teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. And then like you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo.
And the research shows it. You're nearly 7 times more likely to complete a goal when you publicly share and declare your goal to a group or an accountability group that you're a part of. And that's why the Storyteller Sprints weren't designed to be done alone. There aren't hundreds of modules to complete, there aren't worksheets and PDFs to download. It's taking action alongside fellow storytellers that are on the same journey as you. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And linking up with others is the winning position to be in. And third, and arguably most importantly, are check-ins. Again, some of the top business people, entrepreneurs, creators, and innovators always cite knowing what the scoreboard is. They're not driven by metrics, but they're using metrics to better inform their decisions. So by having a scoreboard, a tracker, or shared accountability where every single week you have to report what you've done, what you haven't, and what you're gonna work next on, gives you a 95% chance of completing a goal by showing up to an accountability appointment. And that is why we have weekly check-in calls to make sure you're never stumped or you're never stuck. You can share updates on your sprint, challenges you're having, insights you've gleaned, and most importantly, an opportunity for you to celebrate your wins. And so with these 3 levers in place, it's nearly impossible for you not to be consistent with your content. And we know this because we've seen this time and time again with the dozens of creative professionals that have come through our Storyteller Sprints. Just like Paolo Gard, a Sydney-based tech professional and YouTuber that has just surpassed 2,000 subscribers, who shares that since being in the Storyteller Sprint community, he's been more consistent on YouTube than he has in his entire time of publishing content on the platform. Or Tree Tran, Brisbane-based head coach and trainer of the Alpha Den, who's been carving it up with edutaining short-form content about how people can improve their health, wellness, and fitness. All the same goes for Divyak Shea, or otherwise known as Divi, a talented audio nomad sharing video storytelling updates with his community as he's been writing his entire album in the back of a van across Australia and while traveling as a backpacker through India. All the same goes for Michael Francis, who's pulled the trigger and finally started writing his newsletter, and so far, he hasn't missed a week. Or Lawrence Belfield, a motorsports enthusiast that generated 9 long-form YouTube videos in the duration of 1 sprint. Or if you're a marketer watching this, you might be like Harshdeep, head of community and content at Flux Finance, a platform that is dedicated towards raising the financial literacy of the next generation through edutaining written and short-form video content. Or you might be like James Kapui, communications officer at Wuchoperan, that cites having a small communications team can be really difficult to scale their content efforts, but since going through a sprint has been able to distribute the workload across various members of the team so they can level up their internal communications through video content. Or Travis James, a growth operations manager at Blink, who's learned how to systemize and scale an always-on user-generated process to receive testimonials and content from their community of evangelists so they can showcase more social proof across all of their platforms and let their customers market for them. Or as a founder, you might resonate with Matt Perrett and the team at BuildPass, who felt overwhelmed, uninspired, and disorganized when it came to creating video content. But now, after doing a Storyteller Sprint, their entire team feels empowered, everyone's contributing, and if I say so myself, they're absolutely nailing their content across both Instagram and TikTok. Or Dale Cohen, Melbourne-based founder of Play on Sound and Lighting, who found that he wasn't having enough time or clarity of how to create content on the fly. After doing a Storyteller Sprint, he's now able to showcase and highlight all of the work that him and his team are doing running events across Melbourne. So leads and prospects can get a better idea of the services they provide without Dale having to sink hundreds of hours into capturing content because he does it while he's delivering a service or his team is. Now, I'm not going to keep hitting you with more wins from our amazing community of creative professionals, but as you can probably tell, I'm pretty darn excited for you to be able to achieve the same yourself. That's the power of having clarity, community, and check-ins on your content creation. And in case you're wondering, this program is designed for people that love taking action. You believe that 80% done is better than 100% perfect. You thrive in uncertainty and you know that action is the best teacher. I've invested thousands of dollars in online courses and all sorts of modules only to never complete them and never do anything with them. This program won't have any of it because by taking action continuously, you, like everyone within our creative community, will always know what the next step is. And chances are that if you don't, someone in the community has been in the same position you've been and will be there to help you out, which is why we have a private group channel for you to message and reach out at any given moment, because we never want you to get stuck and we always want you to feel supported. Because the faster you take action and the faster you fail is the quicker you start succeeding, creating better content, and start building the muscle of consistency. So if you're ready to finally start leveling up your content creation, then click on the button underneath this video, book a call with me, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for you in our next Storyteller Sprint. I'm Daniel Mumba-Odoi, and I'll catch you on the inside.